How would you like to build an email list using Facebook ads, and Facebook will literally pay you to create this list? And you can do this with a super low ticket product between $5 and $10. Now there's something called an SLO or self-liquidating offer. And what this allows you to do is build a buyer's email list, but the best part about it is you're gonna be able to get it paid for with Facebook ads. So if you're doing organic traffic like Instagram Reels or TikToks, YouTube Shorts, and it's going a bit slow, this is a great way to build that list but actually get paid for it. Now this is gonna be the beginning of a brand new series that I'm creating on how to build an SLO or self-liquidating offer. Now I've been obsessing over this for the last few months because this SLO method has completely blown up my business. I've been able to build a buyer's list and I don't have to worry about creating content. That being said, I still create Instagram Reels and TikToks and YouTube videos, but the problem with that is it's a lot slower. What I'm about to show you today, you could literally turn on an ad and be able to build a list. And as you know, I've been talking about the last 5 years that your email list is the most important thing. So throughout this series, I'm gonna show you how to properly build an SLO. And at the end of this series, I'm gonna show you how you can clone my exact same process, and I could give it to you at the end of this series. Let's get into it. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jonathan Montoya, and I was able to leave my 9-to-5 job with affiliate marketing. Now, when I first started, I completely started with organic traffic such as YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and I still use those methods today. But if I were to start over and I knew the power of an SLO, I would have implemented that the first day I started my business. Because you see, what an SLO is, it's a self-liquidating offer, meaning if you spend $1,000 on Facebook ads or YouTube ads, you should be able to make $1,000 back on the front end. Now, I want to answer the question, what is an SLO or self-liquidating offer? And then I'm going to show you some real examples and stats. So as you can see, this is from Google. I said, what is a self-liquidating offer? It says it's a product or service that's designed to pay for its own advertising costs. That's the key term I want you to understand. With an SLO, you're not actually paying for those ads if you build it the correct way. And I'm going to show you how to do that throughout this series. So just because you're a complete beginner, or if you're more advanced and you're just scared of running ads, which I was when I first started, it doesn't matter, because if you build a self-liquidating offer, the ads will pay for itself. You're essentially getting paid to build your email list. Let's finish this definition here. So the goal is to make an immediate sale that covers the cost of acquiring a customer through paid advertising. SLOs are usually low priced, high in perceived value, and include upsells and cross sales to increase the value of each customer. So now you know the definition of an SLO. I want to show you now an example of an SLO that has completely changed my entire business. All right, so I want to show you an example of my Facebook ads account. Now, as you can see, we've spent about $63,000 just in this account here. We have multiple ad accounts, but the important numbers I want you to see is how much I'm spending to acquire a customer. This is gonna all make sense in just a bit, but this is really important to understand, okay? Because you'll notice here, right here, I spent about $54 to get a customer. And you can see we had 78 people purchase here. And then again, right here, we had $48 to get a customer, 74 purchases here. And then another one, $43 here, and we have 51 purchases, okay? So what I want you to understand is what we're doing here is we're just trying to acquire a customer, okay? Now, people always ask, well, how much did you pay per lead? Of course, I care about the lead. The lead's amazing. That's when someone opts into my email list, but more importantly, I want to know how much I'm spending for that person to buy, okay? If we look at this, you can see around $54, $48, $43, you know, so we can say average, $45, $48 to acquire a customer. So that being said, if we're spending, you know, between $40, $50, let's just say even $60, how does it make sense to sell a $5 or $10 product? You're actually losing money. Well, no, because that's just the front end. There's going to be upsells, cross sells, and down sells throughout the SLO funnel. And you see, that's where the magic happens. Now, I'm going to show you and reveal the actual funnel that we're sending people to, okay? Now, this funnel that you see, this is just for the Facebook ads that I showed you on the previous screen, okay? So I want you to remember in your head that we were spending around $45, $50, okay? So it cost me, let's just say $45 to acquire a customer, okay? That's how much it cost me. This product that I'm showing you here, this is actually a $5 product, okay? So most people are gonna be like, well, that doesn't make sense. If you're spending $45 for a $5 product, how are you making money, okay? Now this is where the magic happens here, and this is what this whole series is gonna be about. I wanna really get you excited because this has completely changed my entire business model and basically how I run my business, okay? All right, so what I want you to understand is this first product here, okay? This is the first thing that they get. This is only a $5 product, okay? So this is actually my 72-hour challenge product. A lot of my students have gone through this. We've had over 60-some thousand people go through this challenge, okay? But what I want to show you is the magic of the upsells, the downsells, the order bumps, and you'll see this is where it gets very powerful, okay? So 453 people have purchased through our Facebook ads, okay? So if we were just to do ads to that product, we would only make about $2,200, okay? But where you really make the money is the order bumps, the upsells, and the downsells, okay? Because you can see there's an order bump here, an order bump here, and I'm gonna go through all this information on what is an order bump, what's an upsell, how to properly put it together. I just want you kind of to visualize what this is first, okay? You'll notice though, this is where it starts to add up, right? You can see people are gonna be buying the upsells, right? And the downsells and the multiple upsells. And as you can see, there's multiple upsells throughout this entire process. This is where the magic will start to happen, okay? So now here's a high level overview of how this is all going to work. If we're spending a certain amount to get a customer, what we want is that customer to spend an average of at least 45 or even more, okay? So that's the whole goal, and this is how we can self-liquidate that funnel. So if you can make that happen, right? If you can spend, let's just say $50, and the average customer is spending $50, you're essentially building an email list for free. And it's a buyer's email list. It's not just people that opt into a freebie. These are people that actually spent money with you. Now, the whole goal after you break even, once you build that buyer's email list, is we can then promote multiple products, whether you're an affiliate marketer or a digital marketer that has a higher ticket course or higher ticket consulting or software on the back end. That's where the magic will happen. And we're gonna go through all this in this series, but I just wanted to give you a real high level overview, but we're gonna break down every single step throughout this entire series. All right, so we're gonna be going through this document throughout this entire training, and I'll show you how you can get access to this document at the end of this series. So first of all, we need to understand a few terms, okay? There's gonna be average cart value, which is ACV, and then cost per acquisition, okay? These two values, these two data points are essentially the most important part of your SLO, okay? This is literally all I look at when I'm looking at the stats, okay? Now, a lot of people will be like, well, what's the cost per lead? What's the click-through rate on my ads? And all this other advanced stuff. And that all does play a role as you get more advanced. And really, this is all I look at when I'm trying to figure out if this SLO is going to work, are these two values, values, okay? I want you to write these down and really understand these two values, okay? So the first one is average cart value. So throughout your SLO funnel, this is how much a customer spends throughout the entire funnel or SLO. And I'm gonna show you how to figure this out with a clear example, okay? And then the next term is cost per acquisition, okay? So essentially what that means is how much it costs for someone to become a customer. So really important. These are two major terms that you need to understand, okay? Now, the whole goal of your SLO is simply this, okay? And this is all you really need to know. This formula here, okay? You want your CPA, or the cost per getting a customer, to be less than their average cart value, which is how much they're spending. This is like super ideal. If you can do this right here, you can literally spend as much money as you want on ads, okay? Because that means you're literally building this email list for free, okay? Now, the next best case scenario is if the cost per acquisition equals your average cart value, or at least very similar, okay? For example, if it's costing you $40 to get a customer using advertising and your average cart value is $50, well, you're in the money, because you got to think about it, right? So if you're spending, $40 on this customer and on average they're spending $50, well, you're essentially making $10 every time someone buys, okay? Now, the next best case scenario is, let's just say it costs you $50 to get a customer and they're averaging $50 in the funnel. Well, that's okay, because now you're building this list for free. All right, so now let's figure out how to calculate the ACV, average cart value, okay? It's very simple, but basically all you do is add up all the sales, up sales, down sales, order bumps, and you divide them by how many people bought, okay? So I left an example here in the document that I'll give you access at the end of this series. But essentially, if I go back to the funnel, the example that I was showing you, what you want to do is you want to add up all these numbers here, okay? So these are the numbers for the amount of sales. Here's the upsell, all these numbers here, okay? So we're going to add up all these numbers across the board. Now, if I add up all the numbers circled, it gives me a total of $20,700, okay? So what I want to do now is I want to divide that by the number of orders, okay? So total number of orders is 454. This is how many $5 purchases that people bought, okay? Or whatever the price is of your SLO. So that being said, we divide that into $454, and that's $45 average cart value, okay? Now, this is very powerful, guys, because now you know your average cart value, and if you could shoot for anything between $40, $50, $60, and your Facebook ads are costing you around that same price, well, that's when it becomes infinitely scalable. Because if you recall, in the Facebook ads account, you could see here, it costed me $54 here to get a customer, $48 here, and $43 here, okay? So essentially, I'm breaking even. But what you need to understand is I'm building this list of emails for free. And more importantly, I'm not only building a list of regular emails, there's my buyers list, and then there's my regular list. So what's cool is if you go back to this example here, I've built a buyers list of 454 people, but I've also built an email list of almost 4,000 people here, right? Which is also very powerful as well, because what I can do now is I can go and promote whatever offers that I want on the back end, whether it's an affiliate product or my own coaching and consulting, or it could be a software, it could be all of the above. Now, I'm gonna end this video right here, because in the next part of this series, I wanna show you how you can build a super strong back end as an affiliate marketer, or if you just wanna do digital marketing, it doesn't really matter. I just wanna show you, once you build this list, what do we do after, right? What's the whole goal after we build this self-liquidating funnel? And then, of course, later on in this series, I'm gonna show you how we actually build it out. That way you can build an entire SLO funnel yourself. And of course, I am going to show you how to run ads with an SLO funnel. That'll be towards the end of the series. And if you stick till the very last video, I'm gonna show you how you can clone my exact same process, okay? The whole goal of this series is to give you the skills of what an SLO funnel is. But of course, at the end, as you know, I always give you the done for you and clone system. That way you can just go and create one on the very first day. Now, if you're excited for the rest of the videos in this series, I want you to say SLO down in the comments below. With that being said, we'll see you in the next video. God bless.